Everybody's lost on the same street. Everybody's lost on the same street. Please take a seat, but the love, keep your hands inside. Disillusion road is a dangerous ride. But you're not alone and it never comes free. Everybody's lost on the same street.
Welcome to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa, the crazy mother-daughter travel team and publishers of Big Blend Radio and TV magazine, as well as Parks and Travel magazine. Check them all out at bigblendmagazines.com. You just heard Lost on the Same Street. It's the very first title, well, the very first track of the album Parachutes in Hurricanes.
I love it.
That's a badass title, right? snakes on a plane.
Snakes
yeah.
and ladders.
I'm going to say it's the brand new studio album by guitarist and singer-songwriter Dave Fitzpatrick. It's an incredible, incredible album. We'll play some more of the music on today's show, and we're also going to chat with Dave. The album is out April 27th, 2018. You'll be able to get it on iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, and you can also keep up with Dave and his band. Go to Facebook and go to Dave Fitzpatrick Band. Hey, Dave, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
We're excited. This is such an epic album to put together. You have absolutely everything, like strong melodies that you get immediately, the lyrics that just, you get it. Like everything, you just get it immediately, but it's so, to me, I was thinking, how do you look at an album and say, like, this is like the perfect album? It's like, I don't know if this happens with men, but for us women, finding the perfect pair of jeans is like, that's better than, Oprah putting a car under your seat or the keys to the car under your seat.
I don't know about that.
But there's something about finding the perfect jeans, and you never, if you're like me, I will wear the same pair of jeans for like years until they completely
can we
go.
mention your hiking boots as well?
My hiking boots too.
Feet are actually on the outside.
I will wear something out, but this is going to be one of those albums that get worn out on the road, and I'm just excited that it's a whole album too. So, do you feel that way? I mean, this is just like it's perfect.
Yes, I do. I definitely do. It was a labor of love, that's for sure. It took a long time due to the time restraints in between, and the whole there's a lot of songs that didn't end up on it because they really didn't match. And once we started going with this, we got a feel for it was becoming a concept. To me, it's more like a soundtrack than a band-oriented album, and what the concept is, please don't ask me because I'm not sure yet, but it still feels like a concept album. And
I know what it is. I've got the concept for you.
Oh, my gosh, here she is. She's a mother.
No, I have. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm excited about this because, to me, here's what you're doing. You're rounding up all the, I'm not going to say the word leaders because I don't believe it anymore, world people in charge, and politicians, and you're rounding them all up around the world, and everybody on the outside looking at them are the people lost on the same street, and everybody inside, let's say we put them in a stadium, those are the Walking Dead or the zombies, and so you got the whole world of real people out there who are doing the real stuff. And everybody's just trying to survive, and they're trying to do their best and all that, and we're having good times and bad times, but then you got the people in the center that are totally lost no matter what street they're on.
And that's very good. Yes. It's a lost confusion. The album basically deals with a lot of, for lack of a better word, getting older, disillusionment. When the real world comes at you, and how you had put that is a great part of the analogy of it. We are extremely lost, but you're together, and the silver lining amongst that delusionment, and what I meant by the album is that you're not alone. And I think that was something I felt through the whole thing is what these songs are about to me, what they could be to somebody else. I realized when I started making this album, I realized, that's what music's always done for me, and that's one of the most important parts of music that nobody really talks about is music lets you know you're not alone, no matter what it is. It be strife, anger, sadness, happiness. You're not alone. You're not alone, and that's how we relate to each other with it,
I think in this album there's a lot of looking back on the past and looking at the future and being in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And there's
absolutely.
Excitement, there's balance, and then the balance is like, it's not going to happen. If you get that balance, you're screwed the next day because it's not allowed to stay there. Because all things must pass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely. And I'm so happy that you're starting to feel that because that's such a big part of what was happening with it. And that's why I was very, very picky to have the 11 songs all fit between Gary and I, Gary-Tanin, my producer on it. It was very important that these all fit together because of the way they were starting to feel. So there's actually were 14 songs, but the other ones were great songs, but they didn't fit what was happening with this concept at all, and so we can always maybe use them in the future. In fact, what's kind of funny is the actual song I had for quite a while called Parachutes and Hurricanes never ended up on the album.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I want to say
part two then.
Yeah, part two's coming up then.
Yeah,
I
there
feel
we
that.
go.
I want to say, well, in Parachutes and Hurricanes, that's just such a good, it's so visual, and you're very right about this. The soundtrack is very visual, and I love albums like that, where you're building a movie in your mind, and because I'm very visual, and when you hear music, to me, that's really good. You're either going through your own scrapbook of memories, or wishes, and making a vision board. It's that balance thing again. The past and the future, but this is very visual, and I love that because I feel like as soon as every song comes on, it's like, I connect with this, I can understand, and maybe everybody's got a different story and how they connected. Everybody's building their own mystery.
Right.
Sarah McLachlan would love that, but it's but it is true. You're building your own, and I always talk about this on the show with music and art and books. When the audience gets to co-create, then it becomes this experience, and it can change over the years. Albums' meanings change over the years, and you definitely have one of those albums that will do that.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to go to Parachutes and Hurricanes out on daystorm-music. Like, what's going on with the weather, man?
Yeah, it's horrible here right now, I guarantee you that.
Oh, you're in Milwaukee, right?
I'm in Milwaukee, and it's about 33 degrees, raining, windy, blowing in your face. It's quite and we just don't see anything coming but this for at least the next week or so.
Wow. Well, you should be here in Tucson, Arizona. We just had some windstorms because April is a very windy month in the desert. Because pollination has to happen. So, that's part of Parachutes and Hurricanes, too. Right. We had a lot of little yellow fuzzy things flying around called flowers. But but it's been very sunny and warm, and we're walking around in shorts and T-shirts and flip-flops. It's been up in the 90s, but sorry about that. But Milwaukee, I've seen photos of you. Nancy and I were watching videos of you performing with your band at festivals, and it looks like Milwaukee does party in the summer, and that beer happens. Like why does beer come to mind?
Because beer, we have probably. I know I'm very biased because I am a Milwaukee boy. I love my city. We have got probably some of the best micro beers out there. We have one of the largest music festivals in the United States, Summerfest.
Wow.
We have street festivals, bands here. We are very a hidden secret. And, I talk to a lot of people, and they're like, "Well, Milwaukee." I said, "You come here and then judge, because it's a wonderful city to be in during the summer. Wonderful city.
And I think that's it. If you get cold, you need to go party after the winter.
Well, we flip out. We deal with the winters here, and then when spring and summer come, everybody here is all in festival mood. I'll tell you that much.
So when do you call spring then?
Every moment. Say what?
What is your spring then?
Yeah, when's spring?
Well, I live right by the lake, so I get it even later. It's late this year. Usually right now we're getting, I don't know, maybe if we're lucky we're getting 50, but May we start hoping things turn around. But I'm right on Lake Michigan, so I get it even a little later.
Well, when we come through your area, because we do these trips, big trips. Our last one was 3 years. But now we're down to doing 2 to 3 2-month tours.
We got lost on the same street.
We do. We go in circles too, especially if we're in the water and I'm paddling. Circles are happening. But we are on a tour going. It's our Big Blend Spirit of America tour, where it's about visiting every unit within the National Park Service, and we have 418
fantastic. now.
So you've got a beautiful, back door of water that we need to come and visit. And
yes,
we now know not to come until after May.
Exactly.
And we want to go to the parties and see you guys perform live. Tell us about your band. Jerry I connected with on Facebook, and he's like, "You guys are going to be jamming next week." It's cool. So he plays guitar with you in the band, right?
Jerry Ochoa? Correct.
Yes.
A very intricate part of all this. I'd be remiss not coming out and saying that though it's David Fitzpatrick-band that I've been playing with had a very intricate role into this album. Jerry Ochoa on guitar, Paul Nesky on bass, Craig Broke played drums, Tom Buckley keyboards here and there. But I went to a lot of other musicians, and it was like we say, more of a less band-oriented, more concept album. And but Jerry will be with me this summer, and Paul, I think, is going to call it quits. He's very busy, and but we're gonna beg, borrow, and plead to try to get him to keep playing with us here. But he'll make his decisions. But we'll definitely get the people going, and hopefully have a lot of gigs this summer, because it's wonderful playing here in the summer. Wonderful. Like to get out.
Awesome, and having a new album out too. Yeah, so now you're going to have a physical copy for people going to festivals and seeing you performing?
Oh, yes. Cool. We're going to be selling the CD. That'll start April 27th also, along with the downloads and everything. And most definitely, we still got to stick to the CD. I wish I had some vinyl. I hear people are not buying vinyl. So.
But I was reading that actual hard copies of music, whether it's a CD or vinyl, I would love to still have old tape cassettes because they're fun.
Oh, yeah.
but
I
they're
still
actually
put all my
now
ideas on
going
cassette,
ahead.
So.
Yeah, well, they're all coming ahead. They're getting ahead. They're beating out the digital downloads now, and I think that's a very good sign. Your music is part of this thing that we're seeing over the last few months, really, that it seems that rock is back. Not that it ever really left, but it seems to be pushing out to the forefront. But it's like your music, you have like every piece of rock in there. To me, you have everything. It's soulful, and then the harmonies and the dynamics and the guitars and the organ and the horn section. You have a little bit of everything in there, and you have your own style, which I'm like, this is just really fresh and cool. I just see this wave of rock coming back, but it's kind of, I think everyone's going into a mode of you can't pinpoint a specific genre of rock, and it's a little bit of everything from like the late 70s through the 90s almost. Do you feel that?
Right. I feel it. I see the same insurgence. I see this incredible, what I've been really interested in lately is it seems to me through independent radio and everything, listening to the incredible amount of R&B, kind of a soulful rock or R&B coming out of Europe. Which you listen to the song and it could be straight out of Motown and coming out of, but with a feel, with a nowadays feel, and it's not copying it as much as it is a real respect for that type of music, and I see that happening out of a lot of these. I look up these people as soon as I hear them, and so many from England, from other parts of Europe. I find that very interesting also, and the rock part of it, I think you have. In South America, you're noticing that these rock bands, so many resurgence of rock bands coming back that they are really loving. Yeah, everything takes its time and comes right back around. It's the beauty of it is, especially nowadays with music. I think anything goes, and I think that was very, to me, unexpected for what I ever planned the future would be. But it definitely has come about, and it's kind of exciting because anything really goes. Any age group seems to really go. There's people going to see older bands that are 16, 17 years old. There doesn't seem to be this gap because I think popular music in that way has reached an age where it's for everybody.
Yes.
So I think it's an exciting time. A lot of people have a negative feel on what they're hearing, and I don't. I'm excited. I think it's getting better every year.
I'm
really
super excited, and I like that you have the global perspective. Because and the understanding of the ages, because I remember like in school, like if you like this you were uncool, or if you like that you're uncool, and I kind of feel like the uncool is going away, and now looking at the masters and going, we're stupid if we don't say this is badass, and learn from it.
And if you notice anything that does, I mean, there's I wish I could name you some artists. There's a girl that I heard on we have a station here, a great station, 88.9. WMYS, they're no commercials, just it's all funded by the people and everything else. And they played a couple younger girls that are doing, and it's flat out practically sounding like disco, but it's out of respect. I don't hear anything that's let's copy this sound. all I hear is a certain sound, and they're doing it out of respect of what they heard. They really like, they like that, and they want to make it. And it's been an influence on them, and it's done so well. It's done absolutely fantastic. So for the younger bands out there, I'm not a retro guy. I want to hear what's going on now, and I'm absolutely fired up about it. I think what's going on is great.
It's fresh. It's very fresh, even though it harkens back. That's what's so exciting, and I think that it's because you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose the past on this. You see, it's like your album.
You build it.
You see,
you just build upon.
Yeah, this is it. You live on the water. That's the thing. You're out by the lake. That's what it is about your album. You've got the water where it gets to flow and
one of those floating docks.
Yeah, you're a floating dock. That's it. Because you can be a little bit here and you can't get your toes wet, and then you don't want to be in the water too long because then we'll be prunes. But this is. I love the whole album. The music in here is incredible. The musicians you have playing on here are incredible. The organ. Oh my God. Tell us about the organ and because there's the piano, there's the key. It's like Billy Joel met with a really good Hammond B3 organ and they had a baby.
Well, that was Gary-Tanin really helped to set that up. That is Jack Spann out of New York. Did some work on Bowie's last album as a demo. I think he did. I'm not sure what all involved, but he was involved in that, and he's a phenomenal player and was kind enough to take the stuff and the timing, professionalism and the timing, but then again, Gary-Tanin deals with nothing but professional people. So all this has been a pleasure. Everybody who played on it, from sax player to the drummers, my real band, my normal band, plus all the other musicians who played on it, and Jack did a phenomenal job on that stuff, and I think Jack gave us so much to work with that Gary even didn't use some of it, which is phenomenal, and a very kind man, and took it very seriously and really loved it. So I can't thank him enough for what he's done on that album.
It's so warm. His work is so warm, and I think that's the thing. Like technically, like I was saying, this is like one of those perfect albums, and I'm serious in that the technical perfection is incredible. Yet, when bands do that, a lot of times the soul and that warmth and the bendingness and that flow is gone, and that's what's so amazing about your album is you don't, especially a studio album. It's very hard to capture that live connective feel, and you have that, and it's got that warmth, and I think that's what's so like you feel you're part of this, And I feel like I'm driving across country. This is definitely road trip music.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna test it across Texas.
That's another 3 years.
I know. No, but that's the thing. It's like Tom Petty. Tom Petty was there's all kinds of road trip music, but there's certain bands that you could just keep listening to and not have to change the tape or whatever. You're just gonna let it go. You start maybe to have Black Sabbath. And then all of a sudden you have one that you like, who's going to really carry you through. And I feel that your album could carry people through Texas, and that's important.
In the desert,
great.
No matter where we go, we have to cross the desert.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So desert radio.
Once the Gumby cactuses are gone, we're in trouble.
Well, I've never been there. I've never been there. Arizona is
you got to come out.
For me. I've never been there.
The desert is beautiful. A lot of people don't understand it because they don't look at it. They kind of
that way,
they don't really experience it the way we do.
There's a lot of weird wonders.
There's a lot of really. You have to look. You have to really be present. But now, when you're driving, you don't get a close-up look. So now you need some music.
Yeah, and you got to have someone
good
with a good backbone. Who do you listen to on a road trip?
On a road trip for me, probably, I've been really into lately is the Beautiful South. That used to be the House Martins, a band out of England. I don't know if a lot of people don't know. He's just a phenomenal writer. That album is great. Exile on Main Street, the Stones album, is
one of
the
best forever.
Avalon, Roxy Music, Avalon for some reason for me is great.
Wow, yeah.
For a road trip. No, people would think that's a little too low. You might fall asleep, but not. I love listening to Steve Earle on the road. I don't know what it is about Steve Earle, but I love Steve Earle's CDs on the road. Yeah, just so many. Boy, it's hard to name.
That's a mixed bag.
Depending on the mood, you know.
Yeah, you're a mixed bag of music. Like, you really are.
Oh, yeah. I've listened since I was a child. I'm the youngest of 9, so I had influences.
Wow.
My oldest brother is 14 years older than me, so every one of my siblings has offered something in my palette, shall we say, of listening from early Motown. When I was a little kid, I used to try to dance like James Brown, you know, because I'd listen to stuff, you know. Then there was the hippie age of the late '60s, and I used the vacuum cleaner for a microphone and played everything from Jimi Hendrix to 10 Years After, and you know. Then I got old enough to be my own. So and it was the Clash and the Sex Pistols and the Replacements are one of my favorites ever. Paul Westerberg's my hero, you know. So yeah, it's a big palette, and I'm really happy that I was in the family I was and got influenced by all this. I mean, my parents were big band. They were swing people. They were swing children. They were from that era.
Yeah,
and,
I love that music.
They're in that. Oh yeah. I mean, just my mother would see. My mother would see people that are legends for a quarter, you know, in Chicago and stuff. So it was a listening family. Yeah.
There's a thing about when I was listening to your album, listened to actually a few times now, and I'm eager to travel. That's where your album sits for me. It's like I want to get on the road because like there's parts that do go into. There is a little Mellencamp in there. I have to say that, and you know there.
Yes.
You know it's in there.
I've heard that a lot. Yeah, that's.
I know, and it's there, but it's not. Like I can't explain it, but there's this. But there's a music there's like Midwestern heartland music, but it touches the heart. It's like this heartland, and that's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it's part of like your psyche.
Very well, yeah. And that's really nice to hear because that's where I'm from. I mean, you got to be who you are, you know, and that's where I've always lived and always been.
Sunflowers.
You know what it is?
It's heartland.
It's the center of good values.
Yeah. There's this, listening to it, I want to travel to Kansas and through, you know, Wisconsin. I've never been there. But there's this music that I grew up on thinking, okay, that's Americana, and I really had no clue what Americana was. Mm-hmm. And then coming over back to this country, because I grew up in Africa and most of my life in England. And coming over here, like I had, you know, Mellencamp and, you know, there was Willie Nelson and there's all these different people, right? And coming back over here and, you know, listen, and then going to San Francisco and Janis Joplin wasn't there, pissed me off because she wasn't there. I'm like, come on. Well, maybe she had passed on, and Jimmy was gone and all that. But there's this music that I identified with, you know, the musicians, and what I always had this vision of what America was, and it was like more Midwestern, you know, visually, and it kind of went with the music, which went all the way through Oklahoma and into Texas. You know, there's that, I'm talking about like Midwest, like being the middle of the country all the way down to the South. So being where you are and then talking about like how close Chicago is and that whole movement of the blues, how the blues changed as everyone migrated up, you know, that's, you've got to have this draw on, when you think about Americana, like that's, you've got the Native American side too that comes in. I mean, there's a little bit of everything that you get. Being where you are.
And that was was the concept of America. I mean, Americans should be so proud of their music culture. I mean, it's a. I remember going to Europe and talking to people saying, "Well, you're kind of young as a country in itself. So look at these buildings." You know, I said, "Yeah, but you know, it's funny. Our music culture is as young as we are, yet everybody wants a piece of it. So we should be very proud of that. We're the home of blues and rock and gospel and all these different mixes that came in, and it spells out freedom because it's expressive, and I think that's what people adored about it from other countries is the amount of expression and feeling and the different tastes that come in depending on what part of the country you're from, and that's always fascinating me. And the older I get, the more I write songs, the more I've expanded out to that kind of thing, you know, listening to different stuff. My latest thing is just I'm fascinated by people like Hank Williams, but I never really spent a lot of time listening to other than what you've heard in history, but there's so much more to it. People are icons. No, I don't care if you're into heavy metal. If you're a writer, no matter what you're into and no matter what kind of music you're writing, I'm finding that I have such respect for writers that I probably would have never really listened to, but you still respect perfection and you respect the way they were honest about their, for lack of a better word, genre. I really don't like that word sometimes.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean. You end up with a mutual respect. Maybe you were into metal all your life, but you have such respect for the songs the Bee Gees wrote. And why? Because they were fantastic writers. You can't deny that, the honesty and everything. So you have nothing but respect for them, which opens the door for you as a writer and opens the door to what you listen to. One thing about getting older is my door is so wide open to any genre from anything, basically from rock, pop to anything. You feel the honesty and you end up liking it, even though it's maybe something you never listen on a normal basis. And that's great. That's great. And I think it does come with age.
That's a life lesson right there, though, in everything.
Yeah.
In everything.
Right.
That's a life lesson.
That is what America was founded on, was being open to everything new, because everything was.
Yep.
And I hope that, that we don't lose that openness to other cultures and other musics and other kind of recipes and all that. I guess that's why with the blend, it's like, come on, people, let's just go experiment, see what they got to offer. And it doesn't mean you have to like it, but if you don't like it, you don't have to be mean about it. You can just say, okay, it's not my cup of tea, and move on.
Got it.
Yeah. Stop doing that to tea. This is not my flavor of coffee. Coffee is coffee. Stop putting hazelnut and all these other mixed flavors to it because you wanted coffee. Like, that's not coffee now.
Yeah, but you can't say that about ice cream.
No.
Well, I'm a coffee fanatic. I love coffee, and I am guilty of the flavor thing. I've been really into a little ounce, little hint of cinnamon in it, and it's just.
Oh yeah.
I'm now addicted to it.
See, now there's a spice that I have in the cabinet. Now, I haven't told Lisa this, so now I'm going to get it. But there's a spice I have. You know where it comes from.
Yes,
it's meant to be on French toast, so you don't use syrup. And it's really good in coffee.
I put cinnamon sticks. I used to chew on cinnamon sticks as a kid. Like, that was a thing. Like, we would see how long we could do. I don't know. But anyway, I used to put it in cinnamon stick in coffee.
Lips.
No, I didn't do that stuff. No, I wasn't that girly. I got girly for 1 month of my life, and that was enough of that.
You did try modeling, and that was really funny.
I only did that because of a friend.
Yeah,
See, now, okay, so I
just went to watch because it was really funny.
Dave, I want to play Half a Mile because we're talking about, what is this? Listen, let's go back to the music. That's far more interesting. Half a Mile. I wanted to play this.
Cinnamon lips.
Yes. Anyway, I really wanted to play this because to me this was where I went, this is the traveling song. That was like, when you just sit and listen to an album and you're listening and it's as good, and then it's the third track and all of a sudden I'm like, dude, I need to get in the car. And it was the song. And you talk about traveling in there, or I should say you sing about it. Tell us about this song. Where did it come from for you?
Well, it's very interesting. That song's very interesting. I had that da-da-da-da-da-da, I had that riff, forever in my head, and a lot of times that's what's happening. What starts the whole thing. That was actually the melody was a little different, but I knew what I wanted to say there, and it was very difficult for some reason for me to finish that song, to get it out. I think maybe because of the importance it was to me. Half a Mile was in the head, but the melody actually on the original is much different, and this one's much better because nothing really fits. So it was very, very strange how that came along, and I'm kind of I got to spend 5-10 minutes on a song, and I got to put it down. I'm not one of these who can sit for 3 hours on one song. If I sit for 3 hours, I'll work on 6 different songs and have bits and pieces of them, and then a month later maybe I'll have another piece for 5 minutes. But Half a Mile is about that. When we talk about getting older, is you're half a mile into it. A whole tear, half a smile. Travel with me. It's it's probably embodies that idea of a bit of disillusionment, not in a negative sense, but it was very important to me. It's lack of, maybe getting to where you wanted to get, to go, I should say. And, you're halfway done, and you realize that you're getting older and the time is short. And I think basically that kind of sums it up. Here we are, half a mile to it, and what am I going to do for the next half?
Go on a road trip. Yeah, there
we go.
That's it. Well, it's interesting because when I was listening to this, I was like, this is like really taking a look at your life.
Yes,
and some people in music, it's this coming of age. But I was like, no, we're there, but we're now taking stock. It's like taking inventory and going,
exactly.
Hey,
that's perfect.
Now we need to add cinnamon to the coffee. We're at that point.
Taking stock and seeing what's left.
I know. What moved?
Well, the whole album for me, is basically, as corny as it sounds, for me, I think was relatively therapeutic, and it's I would say it's definitely end of an era, beginning of another. Closing a door and opening another at the same time, and basically.
Yeah, I love that. That's why we have revolving doors.
Yeah, and it's doing it to me without even meaning to have it happen, but it definitely is,
Do you feel that you have acquired wisdom?
Oh, yes. More wisdom than I thought, and I think that's drawing into this. More wisdom.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was learning lessons until you actually learn the lessons and look back on them. Sometimes you don't look back on them, and you never think that you did. What did I get out of that? Well, little subtle things in life are the little things in life build up to something important, and I think
that's why
definitely.
I said it takes so long to find the right pair of jeans, and this is what your album is. It's like it takes so long, and then the older you get, the harder it actually is.
Can I just say shop somewhere else?
Yeah, but I hate shopping, so it makes it even harder. But I want to say this. We're talking about in life and growing in life, and becoming the fine piece of cheese or the bottle of wine thing or good beer. Beer is quick to make, though. That's the beauty of beer. It's full production. Good water.
Good water from Milwaukee.
And I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I think this album is for all ages because we have these cycles that we go through in life. And someone said there was like 7 main cycles we go through, or like life-defining moments where you have to that something will shake you to wake you up. Are you just bumbling along, or are you aware of your life? Are you in it? Are you alive? No matter, you could be in your 20s and be walking around like a zombie. Yeah, you could be a zombie.
I'm alive.
Oh, sure.
I'm alive.
I know. But you could be a total zombie in your 20s.
No, you're absolutely right. There's different times for people, and I would be the type to not ever really give that any time or think about it until it actually happened to me. I've had things happen that were, just bizarre situations. I had, a long story short, an old relationship come back that I was never able to get rid of, and I didn't know I couldn't get rid of it.
Oh, that's
the ghost. It was there.
The ghost
and
in your back.
I was sleeping through it, and it comes back, and it was harmful and hurtful and short, but at least you found out the truth, and that's where a door really closed, on that. And other situations, no, you're absolutely right. I'd be the one to not believe that until it actually happened to me, and things do come along, and they pop you to wake you up. It's as hard as some of it is, it's incredible on the other end because you realize what happened, and it changes you, and you it's a great awakening. Let's put it that way.
Is your ghost? Is that the song because it was like the ghost in your back, like that?
Yes. Oh, yes. That's definitely. That song is extremely personal. That's about somebody who really left such a such a mark, but a very strange mark, not an openly. So hard to explain. The song explains it as best as it was a ghost, and you didn't realize that you were not letting this go. You did, but you didn't, and that is what it was about. And finally, it got to a point where you realize that it was only that. like only you can get your ghost off my back. And the funny thing is that last year at around this time, that did happen, and it didn't turn out well, but it proved what it was all along. A very semi-abusive,
reality.
narcissistic situation, and once you view that reality and realize it, it became much easier to let it go. So in that way, this album, in some parts of this album, were extremely therapeutic for me. Nothing dramatic, not anything that's different than any other life. Nothing so traumatic happened that would be any different from anybody out there. But that's what makes it great too, is everybody experiences these things.
That's what I was going to say. Your Ghost, that song, I think everyone can identify with that in some way.
Right.
Sometimes it is someone that is actually up there sweeping around at night, going wakey, wakey, sure. I'm a ghost. We all have that, and there are people that are part of your life that even just a memory of them, or they're just always going to be that taste in your mouth. They're just going to be there until one day you really brush your teeth better.
Now, that same history repeats it. Yeah, but if you think about the same history repeats itself, it could be the ghost.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Just look at.
I
know. Don't get me all started on
and
politics
sometimes you're
again.
your own ghost. A part of it is you end up your own ghost. Because you're angry. You're angry that something didn't work out, and so you've got to eventually just realize that it wasn't destiny. Okay, stop. It wasn't destiny, and it's not the end of the world. And you're angry, but you're angry at yourself for ever putting yourself in that position. But that's one of the. It sounds simple, but it's not simple to get rid of that sometimes. And that. Then again, is a lesson learned that you have to. A lot of times, forgiving somebody else means forgiving yourself for ever allowing it to happen. And that sometimes has to be the first thing you do before you really get rid of something you need to. And the old saying of doors will open once you close other ones, absolutely the truth. Corny as it is, it's the truth.
Yeah. You have to remember that in life, because you can't let yourself get all down because the door is closed, because it's just that seesaw. Your whole album has that theme to me. That's that hey, you're just going to go. You're going to go through the cycle. It's like the hamster on the wheel. You're going to turn around, and eventually you get to jump off if you want to. Okay,
right.
We have to play your Ghost now.
Sure.
I was. But this is a mark of a good album when the songs flow into each other, and that they connect. To me, it's interesting because some of your songs were just like How I Wish. Then you went in from that, and that was such a cool little bluesy, and the organ in there was amazing again.
Yeah.
And then you go into How I Wish into All In Tonight, and I felt like those two should be like a couplet. That should, like, if you were, you know what I mean? If you were putting out, those little albums, what do you call them? 45? 70? What do you
45?
Yes. Yeah, and you'd have you know what I mean? It would be those two should be on one side. That those two.
Go. Right.
This is why this is all connected. So that's why we're allowed to jump around on songs.
Right, and I agree with you. I was very happy with the way we end up lining them up. And you know what? It happened. I know probably a lot of people say this, but it's the absolute truth that this album, they really flowed that way, and it kind of happened natural. It was a no-brainer to know where these songs should flow. We had a little leeway with a couple of them, but basically they just kind of fell into place in that order, and I couldn't be happier. And Gary, it was up to Gary. He produced all of it, Gary-Tanin, and he neither of us ever had to really discuss the order. It just kind of fell into place, to be honest with you. That was never a big discussion on what kind of order we're going to put these in. It was just very natural.
This is interesting. Okay, let's play Your Ghost, and we'll still play the other song, but let's play this. So, because to me, it's like the culmination. It's like it's just how it does flow. But here it is, everyone. Again, the album is Parachutes and Hurricanes, and available April 27th, 2018 on CD Baby, Amazon, iTunes, all those great places. And you can also keep up with David Fitzpatrick or at David-Fitzpatrick-Band on Facebook, and they're on Reverb Nation as well. But here it is, Your Ghost.
I'm half awake, I'm barely dreaming. I feel you breathing on my neck. You're the master of deception. 'Cause it's been a long time since you left. I shake the memory from the moment. What's left of pride back in my chest. Breathing deep, feel like myself again. A hardened shell outside this nest. Not a day goes by without you whispering in my head. Some crazy lullaby, every verse fades into black. Only you can get your ghost off my back. You appear with many faces, some of anger, some regret. My reflection fills the spaces in between. Something I just can't forget. You'll never reconcile. You'll never tell me you was wrong. I tried to close this door. You just blow right through those cracks. Only you can get your ghost off my back. Only you bring redemption. Let it fall like an April rain. And I can't help but wonder, you feel no shame. This play is history. We left out the final act. I know it's up to me to get these wheels back on their track. Only you can get your ghost off my back. Off my back. Off my back. Off my back. Only you can get your ghost off my back. Only you can get your ghost off my back. Only you can get your ghost off my back. Only you can get your ghost off my back. Only you can get your ghost off my back. Only you can get your ghost off my back. Only you can get your ghost off my back.
You're listening to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa, and you just heard Your Ghost from the Parachutes in Hurricanes album. It's a brand new studio album by guitarist and singer-songwriter Dave Fitzpatrick, available on April 27th, 2018. You'll get it on iTunes, Amazon, and CD Baby, and it's waiting there for you now. Go get it.
Cool.
Go get it. We have Dave sitting in with us and talking about his music, and we're talking about everything. Like, we could solve the world.
I know. I really want to share something quickly, okay? Because my grandmother, she's a little British lady, and she taught me tons of things. She had a little dachshund, the little wiener dogs, and every time the dog wanted out, he'd start running around the house like crazy, and then he'd go to the front door and dig at it like crazy. In the meantime, she would open the back door, and it would take him a few minutes to figure out the back door's open. You can go out. And she said to me, now just look at this dumb dog. Just look at it. And remember, you can never find the right thing in the wrong place. And it just, I don't know, that just comes to like when you said, if you can't open the door, you can't
go to
another one. The other one, yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
That's why they have advent calendars.
Yeah, that goes had to go, and that goes had to go, and I tell you that was we're not talking 5 years, we're talking about 20 years. So we're talking
a lot of beer.
Huge aspect on it. And I got to say, here in that song, I got to make one note on it. That is with my mainstay band. That was Jerry Ochoa did all the guitars,
nice.
And
wow.
Paul Nevsky on bass, and Craig Brogue on drums, and Tom Buckley on keyboards. And I'll tell you, Tom was relatively new to us, but for Paul, Jerry, and Craig, I know they'll hear this, man. You guys, that was the greatest piece of art they've ever done. I mean, the bass line and
I love that
Jerry's
song.
guitar work is incredible, and it was so personal to me, and they helped. I don't think it would ever sound the same without what they did to it. It's just expertise. I think for the rest of my life, that's probably one of the best recordings of that. I couldn't ever change that song. I never changed the recording on that. They did a phenomenal job. Every one of them. That guitar is perfect for the vocals, and everything just worked out. And the bass line, every time I hear it, Paul just did it. Paul just did that line. You never worried about Paul. You just, you wrote the song, you sat there, jammed it out, and Paul was just, nobody had to worry about what Paul's lines were going to be. They were always going to be fitting for the song. So, got a hats off to those guys for that one.
That song to me is very, very tight, yet that has that loose feeling of letting something go, and it comes with the rhythm in the drums. There's like a kind of, and it's interesting about the drum pattern on it, the rhythm of it, because it reminds me of horses, and I was listening to it. I'm going, this is goes with the nature's rhythms, but it's also that rhythm of it could almost go into a military procession at the beginning, and then it opens up into freedom.
Yeah.
If that makes, you know what I mean? There's like a
right.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great that you say that. Really, it really, really is. That's exciting. I wish Craig was here right now, because that song kind of started as, when it was written, it was a little more, only you could get your ghost off my back, almost more of a strut, and not fast but slow. But Craig heard it, and he started drumming that, and it completely changed the song. And it's just he really drove it to sound the way it does. Without him, I don't know. I owe it to those guys, because that song was real important, and they came through by far. But Craig is a big part of that song, getting the feel just like you described it. It's almost very unique in its own sense. And
it's very
and that's
horse.
how
It's horses. It's horses to me, because there's a thing with horse riding and being with horses where there's everybody trot la-di-da, and then the horse goes, screw you, we're doing this. And there's this freedom. There's a flow in the song where you guys have a very, it's like a family tightness, like it doesn't matter what anybody's going to do, everybody's there for each other, and when the band is that tight, it doesn't matter. Someone could start another melody line, and everyone's going to catch you. And that tightness is there, but that song, it's tight. Yet it just starts. It keeps moving and flowing into, it's like someone casting a net, but with this rhythm of it's expanding out. So like when you see horses coming over the ridge and then all of a sudden the horses are like really free. Like that's it. That galloping horse is just going.
Very good. Yes, I love it. I love that analogy.
Let's go horse riding now. We went road tripping. Let's go horse riding.
Well, remember,
I'd rather run with them and be free.
We taught Lisa's horse to gallop to
born in the USA.
Born in the USA. Because she kept dropping the shoulder, and I'm like, dude,
she did that on purpose.
I know,
and
I'm like, no, you stop it. You got to flow, man. Let's go. And then she did. I was like, okay, maybe in different songs.
Surtees, Nancy's horse was named after the race car driver Surtees, and he was an old horse, but he would go, take himself around courses, jumping and doing all these crazy things, and he was the coolest. But he had that rhythm of freedom, and that's the sound of that song to me. That is amazing.
Yeah.
What's also very amazing is this being a studio album. You talked about like not spending more than 5 minutes. I think when you do a studio album, not you specifically, but when a band or musicians get in there, they're like, how do you back off? Like Nancy is a painter. Like there's a period of step away from the painting, otherwise you're going to deface it.
You'll hate it the next day if you don't.
Yeah, that's a great question. That's something I think that's part of it. But I was really, a lot of people I wrote with tried to write with another guy, not Dave Stevens. We had a band together, and not so much Dave knew me, and the way Dave writes is really cool. I learned a lot from that. But a long time ago, and they just couldn't believe it. Frustrated them because I'd move on to another song. When I used to get ideas, I'd call it a roller coaster. I'd get on the roller coaster. I'd sit down and I'd play a little bit, and then I get an idea, and then I get another one, and then I get another one, and then this would just become a roller coaster. None of them would really fit together. I have probably 290-minute tapes downstairs throughout all my writing of just ideas. Eventually you start taking them apart, but I can only stay for 5 minutes. I can't sit and finish a song, and I thought that was bad. And then when I got with Gary, Gary kind of understood that, and he said, well, you are what you are. And if you're going to write that way, you got to find a way around it, and you got to continue to do that. Gary helped to get the concentration into it. Now, when I say 5 minutes, I mean for the initial song. I mean, once you get the initial parts, you spend more, especially this album. This album was the first album that I decided, look, I really want to take this apart. I want to put it in a microscope because I was always under the philosophy, well, it should just come out. And Gary helped me to understand that, Dave, there's guys out there, guys that you admire. When they write these songs, once they get the core of the song, they dissect these songs. They work on them. You got to treat them. One artist I remember reading, she said, you got to treat them like your child. They're an infant, and you got to help them grow. And it's kind of a neat analogy, to build it up in that way. And Gary helped me get a little more regimented in putting it together. He was an intricate part of that. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I sound like a chef. We've interviewed so many chefs. You sound like a chef. I'll have a little of this, a little of that, and I'll throw it out. Let's try it again.
Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to have to ask you this question. Okay.
I'll tell you a little secret that could be incriminating. I would play out songs in the band, and I would have just the chorus, and I'd go out and play it. And Gary is in disbelief of this too, and it's honest to God truth. I would just say words, and there's some songs that I played out in front of an audience and just said whatever came to me, and probably, one gig, oh, yeah, there we go, boom, and then, oh, there we go, boom. And then when you get to the studio, you got to have words. And it was Grace Under Pressure. You'd start putting all that stuff together and come up with a song. So sometimes the words would come bits and pieces of emotion. Suddenly you're in the mood for that, or you catch this or that. Never have I ever sat down and said, okay, here's the words to the song. I've never done that. I've never really done that. I knew what it was about, but it's very hard for me to just sit down and say, I'm going to work on this. Because every time I do that, I work on that for about 10 minutes, and then another song would come about. But I've learned to work around it. I've learned to get a little more disciplined, and I've learned to I love Grace Under Pressure. I love being pressured. It gets an emotion in me.
Well, that is true. That's how gems are created, right? It's time, pressure,
how you take
and
a piece of coal and make it into a diamond.
Yes.
Pressure.
Well, we don't need any more coal. Anyway.
I'd walk into Gary's studio, and he's going to kill me. I have nothing to give him, and the emotion of that and everything else, suddenly boom, 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 everything would start coming. It would work.
It's like a kid going to school and you didn't do your homework.
I want to go to this thing about Nancy saying the chef part of it, because it's an art, right? It's crafting, and everybody has a different way. But and that grace under pressure. It's exactly it.
Some people eat dessert first, and it's about seasoning.
Okay, I want you. You're going to have a house concert. Okay, here it is, everyone. Everyone's going to go to Milwaukee. You're going to invite 3 people. The band's going to play. Okay, so Dave Fitzpatrick Band is playing, and you're going to play the new album. Okay. Parachutes. Okay. You got to play this. Parachutes and Hurricanes, and that sounds like a cocktail. But anyway, you should invite 3 people that you've maybe never met, or maybe you want to. They could be alive, passed on. It could be music greats. It could be anybody. Who would you invite for a dinner party where you're going to do a concert so people can hear the new album and you can talk to them about it? So who would be the 3 people that you would want as the audience? And then we're going to have to ask about the food. But, who would they be first? Dinner party with music.
3 people off the top of my head. Alive or dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I would say right off the top of my head, Joe Strummer, Buddy Holly, and Paul Westerberg. Believe it or not.
Hey. Cool. So you're going to have them for dinner. Okay, now what are you going to serve for dinner?
I am going to serve steak and shrimp with a salad,
and
spinach, lettuce, tomato, salad, and I don't eat much dessert, so I think cheesecake.
Oh yeah.
That's perfect.
We'll come over. Now you're gonna have. Are you gonna have some of? You're gonna have
just
coffee.
Invited ourselves.
Don't forget at the end there's coffee with cinnamon. But now, are you gonna serve beer as the drink or wine? What?
Yes.
Okay, beer. Do you have?
Can I name beers?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, the greatest beer in the world, Guinness.
Yes.
Guinness
well, that's
and
right there.
Guinness and Negro Modelo with a lime.
Oh, nice. An amber one?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm hooked on that now.
Man, now I want one.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
In fact, I to be honest with you, while your ghost was on, I poured myself a Modelo.
Well, good for you. So cheers to you. You should be celebrating because you've got an amazing album here, and I think I'm excited to see where this goes because I think it's going to go big. I really do. I just think it's one of the best albums I've heard for. I mean, we hear so many good albums, so I don't want to put anyone down. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying this is.
It's so cool
good.
to have such good music.
It's so
now.
good. That's what I'm saying. It's so exciting. I mean, right now, our next Big Blend Radio and TV magazine is coming out for May, June, and it's a huge music issue, and you're in it.
Fantastic.
Yes. And there's all the
albums,
but there's so many. I can't even believe how many albums we're featuring and how good they all are.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm so excited about that. I think that this, to me, when there's that much music, right, that is out there that's good, I'm saying that this summer, no matter what's going on in the world, people are going to have some good music to enjoy summer because they're going to need it. Number one, we need good music to get through whatever's going on. That's the one thing that will take you through, is good
good
music.
medicine, that's for sure.
Yeah. And so that's it.
Yeah.
I think this summer, I think people are going to just be listening to really good music. And now I'm like ready for road trips. I'm now ready to float on water and drink Guinness and listen to good music like yours. So
is going
to be it sounds really, really good, So very exciting. Such a pleasure having you on the show. And
thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. I wish we could sit down and play the whole album. Because that's a good one. Again, but we are going to play Half a Mile because we talked about that in the beginning. And I think, and I just want to mention also that Money Isn't Everything is also like another good favorite on there.
Well, that's
just even
two really good things to remember. Money is not everything, and you really aren't alone.
That's it. That's right. Exactly. So everybody, again, the album is called Parachutes and Hurricanes. Again, it's out April 27th, 2018 on iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, so go get it. Keep up with Dave. Go to David-Fitzpatrick-Band on Facebook. Is that the best place for people to follow you? I know when you start doing all the concerts in the summer festivals and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the best way to locate us is at Reverb Nation also, but that hooks up to Facebook, so the Facebook is the best way to find out anything for sure.
Okay. And I want to remind everyone, Big Blend Radio airs Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday and Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The schedule's up on bigblendradio.com, and you can listen as broadcasts go live, or you can listen on demand. So that has all the links to all the different outlets there. And we want to thank Spontaneous for sponsoring today's segment. Spontaneous, the song game, is the award-winning and best-selling board game, and go to songgame.com, and it's fun because
it's so much fun.
You take a word, and people on the board game, we always play radio version, you take a word, and people get to sing a lyric that includes that word.
Great.
Okay, Dave, are you game?
Oh, you want to play?
Are you game?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh, cool.
Okay, all right. So you're going to have 10. This is the radio version versus the board game. And the board game, it did come out of a drinking game, but anyway. No, not quite.
It's a great
all right, let's do
game.
it. This is so much fun. Okay, so I'll give Nancy a word so you can hear it. No. So you have yeah. See, but I just so he can hear how it goes, and I'll play. Let me find the clock. Because we need the clock. And if you do not get you have to have 5 words in the lyric, okay? If you do not get it, then we get to butt pan you. And so I'm always excited about butt panning people. So, Nancy, your word, let's see, what's today? Let's see, what can we say? Your word is wine.
Red wine. The Days of Wine and Roses. That's
okay, good. And I didn't even get to the clock, but yeah, okay. The Days of Wine, red wine.
Or
no, you did it. The Days of Wine and Roses. That's 5. That's 5 words. You won. That's good. You did good.
Okay.
Okay, Dave, I'm putting the clock on. Are you ready for yours?
Oh boy. Okay.
Fine. You feel so fine.
Okay. Okay, wait. Let me think. Now I'm overthinking things. Your word is...
Only you can get your ghost off my back. That was too easy.
You didn't let me butt pan you. Okay, no one got butt panned. Oh, well. But that's cool. It's fun. It's a fun game. Everybody has to play it. So songgame.com. Thank you, Spontaneous, for that. And now we're going to play, finally, since we were going to play it earlier, we're going to play Half a Mile. Thanks for joining us, Dave. You take care. Have a great summer.
Thank you very much, Nancy, Lisa. And when you get to Wisconsin, look me up. I'll show you our beautiful state.
Awesome. We'll go have beer. How about that?
Excellent.
And just so you know,
that's what we do here.
Just so you know, we take people up on those offers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm completely serious. You come to Milwaukee, and you're going to love it. You come up this summer. You make sure you look me up, and we will have a great time.
Sounds good to me. We'll play Half a Mile on the way, like every half a mile.
Excellent.
No, we totally will. Just be careful. We will, and then we will go. We'll go beer tasting.
I'm hoping you will. You look me up. You got my number now, and give me a call. I think that would be a riot.
And we'll have to go see you perform. That's important too.
Yes.
To go see.
Come around Summerfest time. Beginning of July, you'll go to one of the best music festivals you'll ever see.
Cool.
We'll have to look up on our schedule here. When is the time not to be there in fall? Like when does it start to snow? Is in other words, because I don't do well in driving.
Here. The worst time here, you don't want to come around December unless you love snow.
No.
December, January, February. March can be bad. This year's awful. You guys are sitting in shorts. I'm in a blanket right now, so.
And you have beer and we have wine. But
yes, there we go. Well, at least we're both having a drink. That helps.
There it is. We're all happy. It's happy hour here on Big Blend Radio. But okay. So this fall is really more of the time frame. If we manage to loop out from Kentucky to you, you never know. But we'll keep you posted.
That would be great. Excellent. Thanks so much.
Thank you, and everybody. Here it is. Half a mile. Don't forget. Go get Parachutes in Hurricanes. I mean, you can't beat that title. Parachutes in Hurricanes, out April 27th.
When I was born with a soulful sound and the seeds of wonder planted firmly in the ground, and the world shows up for the big debut, and the spotlight shines a path that shadows beg you through. So far, half a mile left within me, and a whole tear and half a smile travel with me. And faded dangles from a distant light, so loosely hanging, but you're gripped too tight to stumble on to a brand new trail. 'Cause old roads turn to dust, steel to rust, pride to fail. So far, half a mile left within me, no whole tear and half a smile travel with me. So far, half a mile left within me, and a whole tear and half a smile travel with me. Oh, don't you know it's so hard to let it go when the future's bright, there ain't nothing else to see. But these mountains just get bolder around me. But I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. Travel with me.